Sister Wives. In a rare interview, Kody Brown admits that his big mouth caused conflict with his Special Forces cast. In a rare, red carpet interview, Sister Wives actor Kody Brown addressed rumors of friction with his co-stars on Special Forces, World's Toughest Test. Kody acknowledged to Entertainment Tonight that his big mouth caused him to argue with certain cast members while they were doing assignments given by seasoned Special Forces agents. In a rare news release, he disclosed the main cause of the dispute. He clarified, "I'm a Gen X man. It's just a different culture. I have a big mouth, and most of them were younger than my kids, or I was old enough to be their parent. I think it's very generous. Other people think it's bossy," he continued. "Perhaps it came across as a bit demanding, but I'm not sure. I believe I'm amiable." Kody Brown was put to the test in ways he never could have predicted while competing on the demanding Fox reality competition series. He understood that the fundamental theme of the show is participants persevering in the face of their mental and physical limitations. But this task left Kody in a difficult situation. He claimed that he struggled with the mental obstacles and frequently lost focus. "I was making a lot of mistakes. However, it was more due to my lack of mental fitness than my lack of physical fitness." Kody steered the conversation more towards Special Forces when asked about Season 20 of TLC's Sister Wives. His interested current wife, Robin Brown, would watch the series, but he doesn't think his ex-wives, Mary, Janelle, and Christine Brown, will. "I would never allow Robin to do this," he disclosed. "This is something I would never do to her. She is a sensitive individual. She is an excellent mother, but she won't be preoccupied with being healthy or attempting to do crazy things." According to a press release, Sister Wives Season 20 will examine the consequences of Kody's failed marriages as he at last confronts the past by expressing regret for remarks he made on his ex-wives and their relationships. But not everyone will be open to his comments. Christine said Access Hollywood that unless Kody mended his connection with his children, she would not take any of his apologies. The 18-year-old father has reportedly been separated from many of his kids for a long time. "Take care of your children, reach out to your children," she said. "Give them a call, hang out with them, and improve that relationship. Words alone are not enough. Action must follow." Even though they claim to have moved on and accepted that this is their father and what he does, "My kids are still devastated. I can't even begin to comprehend what it must be like for them to not have a good relationship with their father." Fans will have a closer look at Kody Brown's emotional and physical struggles as he takes center stage on two distinct networks this autumn. While Sister Wives Season 20 delves deeper into the effects of Kody's broken family life, Special Forces, World's Toughest Test promises to reveal a side of him that viewers have never seen. Sister Wives Season 20 opens on TLC on Sunday, September 28, 2025 at 10 p.m. Eastern Time, while Special Forces premieres on Fox on Thursday, September 25, 2025 at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But the Brown family is seated in their Flagstaff homes at the beginning of the new season, but the atmosphere is heavier than before. While the spouses continue to struggle with the concept of independence versus togetherness, the children are growing older, some are moving away, and others are beginning to wonder what family customs entail. Kody reveals a daring proposal because he is desperate to preserve what remains of his previously unwavering family vision. "We plan to begin construction on the Coyote Pass site this year. Don't wait any longer. No more justifications." Despite his tough tone, there is a glimmer of despair in his voice. He is aware that the likelihood of the family ever reuniting decreases with the amount of time the land remains vacant. But the fire in Christine's eyes is different. "I'm proud of the life I've built since leaving, but I don't want my kids to feel torn," she acknowledges in a private confessional. "I have to demonstrate to children that love endures even if their parents lead different lives." She continues to communicate with the family, and her visits cause complex feelings, particularly for Kody. Janelle takes matters into her own hands after growing weary of hollow promises. In secret, she begins estimating the costs of building on her section of Coyote Pass by consulting with contractors. She declares, "I'm done waiting on Kody to get us organized. He must act to demonstrate his desire for us to be a family." Although her tenacity motivates some of her children, It sometimes creates conflict, particularly when Kody senses his authority is eroding. Mary, meanwhile, is at her own crossroads. A surprising investor approaches her with an opportunity to extend her bed and breakfast business in Utah into something far larger. She admits, "I pleaded for a place in this family for years. I'm beginning to realize that I can shine without anyone's approval." She still finds it difficult to go entirely, though, because she fears that doing so would mean leaving behind decades' worth of memories. Frequently caught in the middle, Robin loses it during a family meal. She sobs, "I didn't come into this family to watch it fall apart." She fears that her younger children will never have the big, cohesive family she was promised. Her intimacy with Kody, however, just serves to increase the others' hatred because they believe she is the only one being listened. The biggest twist of the season occurs during a rare get-together of the entire family on Coyote Pass. "What if we built one massive home for all of us, like the old dream, but bigger, better?" is the startling suggestion made by Kody. As the women exchange glances, his words linger in the cool evening air. While some see control, others see possibilities. Robin frantically nods in agreement. Mary appears torn. Janelle folds her arms, and Christine chuckles incredulously. As they observe from the sidelines, the kids discuss the confusion caused by their parents' decisions in whispers to one another. A few of the older children bravely intervene, opposing Kody's strategy and advising their moms to put their own independence first. A generational rift results from this, with the youngsters forging new routes while the parents adhere to outdated ideas. Viewers see intense arguments, emotional breakthroughs, late-night admissions, and surprising reconciliations throughout the season. Every wife starts redefining her own definition of family. By the end, the Browns are considering whether or not they should continue to be a plural family, rather than just arguing over where to reside. One last shocking revelation is hinted at in the penultimate scene. A phone call that could alter everything is given to Mary. She whispers, "This could be my way out or my way back in," as the screen fades to black. But even though there was tension in the air like a storm about to break out, the Brown family house was strangely peaceful that evening. Michael T. Brown made the decision to give birth at home, where she would be surrounded by familiarity and affection, but the timing couldn't have been more challenging. Conversations frequently ended in slammed doors or protracted silences because the sister wives' family was broken and previous wounds were still raw. Her husband, Tony, made an effort to soothe her as the contractions intensified. "Michael T., we've got this." Holding her hand tightly, he said, "Just breathe with me." While the midwife organized supplies and led everyone with her soothing voice, disputes reverberated in the adjacent room. While the other wives sat rigidly, some praying quietly, others too hurt to talk, Christine and Kody argued over who should be there. Michael T's strength started to wane as the night went on during the labor. Whispers of complications sent shivers through the home as the infant was hesitant to descend. With tears in her eyes, Christine hurried to her daughter's side, determined to be the reassuring presence Michael T needed. "You're strong, my love." She brushed her daughter's wet hair off her forehead and remarked, "You were made for this." However, the familial conflict continued. Kody swore about disrespect and strained family ties as he walked out, angry at being shoved aside. Robin attempted to mediate by calling for harmony for the baby's sake, but her remarks only served to widen the gap. Michael T's heart ached from hearing bits and pieces of everything. The distance, the rage, the begging between contractions. The baby's cries then flooded the room just when there was no more hope. After hours of battle, a tiny yet strong child was born. Michael T threw herself back against the cushions and let the tears fall. With a wave of relief, she muttered, "She's here." The fighting ceased then and there. Christine smiled despite her weariness as she held her granddaughter. Even Kody softened as he tentatively returned and touched the infant's hand. The family was briefly reminded of what united them in spite of everything that had ripped them apart. That being said, everyone recognized that the deeper problems had not vanished as dawn broke and Michael T hugged her infant close. Although the baby's delivery had been miraculous, the Brown family's problems had not ended yet. But although there was always conflict in the Brown household, one question began to reverberate more loudly than the others. Which wife did Kody spend the most time with? The camera moved between the four different families as the new season began. Although every wife had a unique tale and set of challenges, it was evident that Kody's presence, or absence thereof, was starting to change the dynamics inside the family. The kids at Christine's house whispered that Dad no longer visited very often. With tears in her eyes, Christine herself told the cameras that she felt more like a single mom than a partner. "It feels like a guest visit when he comes," she said, gripping her teacup. Janelle, however, had settled into a routine. She managed her kids and her own objectives with greater independence. But even she saw that Kody was talking about other things, and that his visits were getting shorter. She claimed in a confessional that it's like his body is here sometimes, but his mind is always somewhere else. Mary's loneliness, meanwhile, was nearly obvious. Over the years, she and Kody had become more and more separated, but now the distance felt like a chasm. She put a lot of effort into her bed and breakfast idea, but her silence spoke more than words when the cameras asked her if Kody showed up. There was Robin after that. Kody's presence created a buzz around her residence. He was present to assist with the children, make repairs, and occasionally even prepare dinner. On camera, she acknowledged that she never asked him to remain longer, but he did. She admitted, "I feel guilty sometimes, because I am aware that the other wives also depend on him." At a family meeting, the tension finally reached a boiling point. "Why do you spend most of your time with Robin?" Christine questioned, the topic that everyone had been avoiding. Kody's expression tensed. "It's not about favoritism," he said after shifting uneasily in his chair. "It all comes down to where I feel valued and needed." There was silence in the room. The other wives looked at each other, each taking in what he had said in a different way. For Christine, it was a validation of her worst anxieties. It served as yet another reminder to Janelle that she could be safer being independent. It was the final component of a puzzle that Mary had spent years attempting to put together. With the family broken and the questions of love and time lingering like an unsolved storm, the season came to a conclusion. And as watchers, we couldn't help but worry if this was the Browns' final chapter or if it was the start of the end. But after years of looking for serenity, Christine Brown finally had the day she had been hoping for. Lanterns hung from tall oak trees, and a rustic wooden arch was adorned with wildflowers as the sun sank over a broad Utah meadow. As Christine, radiant in a plain ivory gown with lace sleeves, got ready to wed David, her new partner who had given her stability, humor, and a love she believed she may never find again, guests gathered in silent wonder. Despite being small, the event was emotional. As a testament to the strength of the family she had created on her own, Christine's kids accompanied her down the aisle. As they watched their mother take the next step in her journey, they smiled broadly and whispered encouraging words to her. When he saw Christine coming, David stood waiting, tears in his eyes. Some of Christine's sister wives were among the attendees. Janelle had arrived with sincere delight, pleased to see Christine happy. Even Mary couldn't deny that Christine exuded a freedom that she herself desired, despite her modest appearance and more nuanced feelings. But Kody had decided not to come. Although his absence hung over the scene, Christine chose not to let it ruin the day. No longer shaped by his decisions or his endorsement, this was her tale. Christine's voice broke with emotion as the vows were said. "For years, I believed that love was an unworthy privilege. But as I stand here, I see that love has always been there for me. I appreciate you seeing me, David." The celebration following the ceremony was like something out of a fairy tale. Candles, baked pies, and bouquets of sunflowers, Christine's favorite, were arranged on long tables. Her children gave moving toasts, danced, and laughed as they talked about how their mother's bravery had inspired them. "Christine, you taught us all that it's never too late to choose joy," even Janelle added, raising her glass. Christine and David danced under the stars as the night went on, her white dress grazing the grass as she leaned into him, happy and safe. She felt completely herself for the first time in years. Not a shadow of someone, not a wife among spouses, but the leading lady of her own life. Viewers were assured by the cameras that this was not merely the close of one chapter, but the start of a whole new one. Christine Brown remarried, but this time she got what she wanted. Greetings and welcome to my channel, dear viewers. I'm Sabrina. I hope you're having a great day. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoy the video.